Welcome back, my dear students, for another lecture in the training and development course, career training and development. The last part we stopped about was here regarding the we talk about the training, the characteristics of a good training, and now we are training methods. Training methods on the job training while you are doing the job, apprenticeship, vestibule training, next to actual work site and hand-on experience. Job rotation means I take the job of the other person who's working, I do his job. So as example, and this will help in what? When that person is absent or when this employee is absent, as long as I train to do his job, then I can fulfill his situation. If he's absent, I can cover him. And leadership track. Let's see one by one and go to them one by one. Methods of site. The previous one was in site or in-house or indoors or in the factory. So, or in the place of the training itself, like on-job training, apprenticeship, vestibule training, job rotation. But here now, off-site means away from the place of work, not on the same place of work. Off-site means not on the same place of work. What I have here, lecturing, as example, like just what I'm saying to you right now is just lecturing, behavioral modeling, simulation. You see the simulations, some places like as example, the pilots, they go inside a simulator. The simulator is like exactly exactly like the plane, like he's in the cockpit of the plane. And he do the same job exactly what's done inside the plane. So he practice while he's still on the ground, he practice actually flying. And the cockpit is the cockpit which he do the simulator is exactly like the real cockpit. It's exactly like that one. So it's the same figure, same things. Only the change instead of being in a real plane, he's just sitting in a room, looks exactly from inside like the real plane, and he's practicing flying exactly like the real plane. That we call a simulator or simulator from simulation. Computer assisted training. This is also another way, or the computer assisted training is another way for the helping the trainee to train through using the computers. These are some. Also, we have like case studies, role playing. Role playing, it means that what if you were in this position, what you would do. Role playing means what you will do if you were in this position. Case studies, I show you an issue and you check the defeats or the drawbacks of the issue. You compare these drawbacks with the real, what you came to learn, the standardized situation. Then after that, you will look for the deviations. Then you will apply a remedy, or you will say recommendations for solving the problem. Experiential management, games and simulations, and conferences also the way for learning and for training. Conferences is another way for learning or training. Mentoring also, just to keep watching something or to keep watching the training. That's very nice also for training. Coaching also, or coaching. So those are, again, the training methods. We can divide them into indoor training and outdoor training, or in-house and offline, or off-house, or off-department, or off-site. So in-site and off-site. So inside, like in-house, like in the job training, apprenticeship, vestibular training, job rotation, lecturing, behavioral models. This is on the off-site. So on-site here, again, on-site, on the job training, apprenticeship, and this is the best of them actually on the job training. This is the most effective one of them. Vestibule training and job rotation. But when you come to see off-site, away from the place of the training, lecturing, behavioral modeling, simulation, and computer-assisted training. Training methods and management, case studies, role-playing, experiential management games and simulations, and conferences. Mentoring and coaching also. So these are the methods of training. Take care, because there we have methods of training and we have types of training like now here. But firstly, I will put a question about the methods of training and we'll stay here like around 5 minutes. We'll say here, discuss the main, I will fix now, methods of training. Discuss the main methods of training. Here we go. And if I have answer here as well, I'll put it here. Discuss the main methods of training. Discuss the main methods of training. So here we have the main methods of training. And this is the question which I want. Discuss is only one S. Sorry about that. Discuss the main methods of training. And here I will just highlight this question under, highlight it here. Sorry about that. No color here, and the color will be for this question. That means we are working on this question right now. Discuss the methods of training. And here is the question. Discuss the methods of training. So here, training methods. All these, what we talked about before. In-house, including on-the-job training, apprenticeship, vestibule training, job rotations. Lecturing, this is on-site, off-site, lecturing, behavioral modeling, simulation, and computer assisted. We have also in the management level, based on the management level, we have case studies, role-playing, experiential, and conferences. We have also the management mentoring and coaching. These are types of training, and I will go back to the question. I will stay here like around 5 minutes to get your answers, my dears. Thank you. Okay, time for this question now is done. We'll go for the next part of this lecture today. Types of training. What are the types of training? And this is also a very important question. What are the types of training? We have skill training. Retraining back means training another training for new devices, for new equipment, for new technology updates or whatever. Cross-functional training, team training, creativity training, literacy training, diversity training, and customer services training. Those are the types of training. Again, I would say types of training include skill training, retraining, cross-functional training, team training, creativity training, literacy training, and diversity training and customer services. Okay, we'll go to the first one, which is the skill training. We'll go to the first one, which is the skill training. Skill training focus on job knowledge and skills for structuring new hires, for the new hires peoples, overcoming performance deficits of the workforce. Any problem regarding the workforce performance, they are not good in this point. They are not good in this point. So we do for them skill training. Again, we use the skill training, which is focusing basically on the job knowledge and skills for instructing new hires, overcoming performance deficits of the workforce. Second type of training is retraining. Retraining. What's the meaning of retraining? Maintaining workers' knowledge and skill as job requirements change due to technological innovation. Something happened in the technology. We were working, as example, on Google Classroom. Now we are working Microsoft Teams. So we have to make a retraining back for the Microsoft Teams. Organizational restructuring, and I told you before about this restructure, means you want to reform back the members of the organization based on the structure itself. You might merge some levels of the managerial levels. You might make a change it, switch it from a tall structure into flat structure. This we call it organizational restructuring. Organizational restructuring. So we have here retraining for two reasons: technological innovation and organizational restructuring. How about the cross-functional training? Cross-functional training employees to perform a wider variety of tasks in order to gain flexibility and improve coordination. So cross-functionals is done to improve the coordination and for more flexibility at the workplace. For more flexibility at the workplace. Training self-directed team with regard to management skills, coordination skills, this team training. For gaining more management skills, coordination skills, and cross-functional skills. Again, the team training aim to increase the knowledge in these three fields, in the training, management skills, coordination skills, and cross-functional skills. We said we have also creativity training, using innovative learning techniques to enhance employee ability to spawn new ideas and new approaches. We have literacy training, improving basic skills of the workforce, such as mathematics, reading, writing, and effective employee behavior, such as punctuality, responsibility, and cooperation. These are about the literacy training. So it cares about these points. improving basic skills of the workforce, such as mathematics, reading, writing, and effective employees behavior, such as punctuality, responsibility, and cooperation. We have also diversity training. Diversity means different types, instituting a variety of programs to instill awareness, tolerance, respect, and acceptance of persons of different race, gender, etc., and different backgrounds. So here, like I'm telling you, diversity of people. So you need training to make all of them accepting the cultures of the others. Customer services training, training to employee communication, better response to customers' needs, and way to enhance customer satisfaction. Again, customer service training, training to improve communication, better response to customers' needs, and ways to enhance customers' satisfaction. Before we go to another point, like I'm usually doing with you guys, each point we have to mention one question about it. And here we go. Types of training. There will be a question about what are the types of training. What are the types of training? So you have to mention here all these types which we said just right now. Here we go, my dears. What are the types of training? What are the types of training? And this is the question now we are going to work on. What are the types of training? Just let me remind you. Types of training are skill training, retraining, cross-functional training, team training, creativity training, literacy training, diversity training, and customer services. Those are the 8 types of training. Those are the 8 types of training. So please work on it right now. And what are the types of training? And we resume working after you write it in your notebook. Please write down in your notebook or on your chat box here. You can do the chat box as well, but I prefer preferably inside your notebooks. What are the types of training? And the answer of this question, the types of training are those 8 types, and I will send it to you on the PowerPoint. That's fine. Okay. What are the types of training? And you can also Google search. If you Google search, you will find the same answers. If you Google search, you will find the same answers. Shall we wait here for around 5 minutes? Then we'll resume marking back. Thank you. Cool, guys. That was the question of what are the types of training, and we will go move forward now to another. We said skill training, retraining, cross-functional, team training, creativity training, literacy training, diversity training, customer services. Those are those types, and we talk about each one of them. We'll move now to the training methods. What are the training methods? Training methods like classroom, videos, computer assistant instructions, simulation, and on the job. And I said before, another place, the types on indoors and outdoors, or on site and off site, we can say on site and off site. But those are the main types. Again, we're saying them here. Training methods include the classroom, video, computer assisted instructions, simulation, and on the job. When to evaluate, we said that the first step in the training process is that you will evaluate your trainee performance to determine the needs of he or she, of him or her. So as example, he is not aware of the updated technology in something. That means that the course of training will be devoted into this point to enhance and update his knowledge in this part of science, or in the scope of science. Before, during, while he's working on the training, you can ask him questions to follow up and to make sure that he is aware part by part. You can go for this part by part. After training, it will be overall kind of overall evaluation for the gains which he got from the training program. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. So why we evaluate before training? To identify the needs or the problem with the trainee, what he's missing, what he needs to be added to his training curricula. Identify specific job competencies to close gaps. Third, identify the type of evaluation needed, what he actually needed for his own training course, what his actual need to his training course. So this is why we evaluate. Why we evaluate before training, identify the needs, identify specific job competencies, identify the type of evaluation needed. During development of training, what we do during the development of training, determine which stuff should be the target of the training, provide feedback to curriculum designers or contents, methods, and materials, determine if the course delivery is consistent and follows curriculum specifications. After training, note changes in participants' attitudes and reactions to the course. You should see how far he's developed. Assess trainees. Again, the word trainee means the person who's receiving the training. Trainee means the person who's receiving the training. Mastery of knowledge. Assess trainees' mastery of skills. The knowledge and the skills. The knowledge and the skills of the trainee. Assess transfer of new knowledge and the new skills to the job. Measure whether or not performance gap have begun to close. Now, the gap means the difference between before training and after training. Did the training program fulfill all the needs to upgrade the skills or not yet? Measure relationship of training to agency goals and client outcomes. How we will see the trainee's effectiveness? How we can say that the trainee or the person who's trained is effective now. Formal evaluation through those things. I can do this. Formal evaluation uses observation, interviews, and surveys to monitor training while it's going on, the concurrent. So while he's training, I will ask him a question. Did you get it? You understand me? Did you understand me? Yes. So how about this point? How we can do it? I can do it like this. So this is, we call it while or during training. Summative evaluation measures the summative evaluation. The second one, measure results when training is complete. In the summative, this one, you wait till the training is complete in 5 ways. Reaction, you check the reaction of the trainee. You check the knowledge of the trainee. You check the behavior of the trainee. You check the new attitudes for the trainee. And you look for the productivity of the trainee after training. So summative means you wait after the evaluation is done. Summative means you wait after the training is done. Sorry, after the training is done. This is the summative. So it includes of the reaction, knowledge. You have to check these 5 points within the trainee. The reaction, the knowledge, the behavior, the attitudes, and the productivity. Here are the types of evaluation designs. Train or the training, we make the measures. Post-test only cannot tell if there is a change in the knowledge or skills. You have to measure. So train and measure, then train, then measure. So this one, train and measure, you don't know about his previous knowledge or the points which you should cover in the training program. But here, measure his performance first, measure his needs, assess his needs, then design the training based on the needs, then measure back after the program. So before the program, then train, then measure after the program. Pre-test with post-test detects a change, but cannot tell if training was responsible. Okay. The specific thing is measure, then train, then measure. Scientific method training groups and control groups compare performance of training groups and control group after training. So you will measure before the training and you will measure after the training. If training group has higher performance, it can be attributed to a training effect. That's the point. You don't do a training program without measuring the needs and which points you need your trainee to be fully aware. And you also measure here to check the gap between the actual performance now of the trainee and what you need in the future from this trainee. Then train him for what he's missing, not for what not for what he knows, not for what he knows, but train him or her for what he is missing to be effective. Then measure the performance after training him or her. So there are any criteria for training and development? Yes, there are 2 criteria for evaluation. Internal criteria associated with the contents of training and development. External criteria associated with the cost-benefit analysis of training and development. So the contents and the pros and cons of the training and development. These are why I do training. So I do it for 2 things: the contents of the program and the pros and cons of the program. We have URL Patrick approach, Tiro approaches, and CIPP approaches. I'll check every one of them right now. about the spars, but firstly, I just have to go also to talk about we said the training methods, the question, why we evaluate before training and during training and after training. So the question will be here, and this will be the last question today in this video. How we can, just 1 second, guys. How can a trainer, I will fix it just now, I know, evaluate trainee performance? How can a trainer evaluate trainee performance? How can a trainer evaluate trainee performance? And this is the question. This question for this lecture. And like I showed you here, after training and before training and during training, the 3 steps of before and during and after. And it's also why we evaluate, how and why we can evaluate. How is before and during and after. Why is the reasons. How and why. So I will put it here, how and why. And why can a trainer evaluate trainee performance? Instead of putting them in one question, so in the how you will say before training and during training and after training, and why you will say the reasons why you do before training, why you do within the training, and why you do after the training. Shall leave you here like around 5 minutes for answering this question. Then we resume back after the 5 minutes. So please go for the answer of this question. Then we'll resume working back within these 5 minutes. We'll give another 5 minutes for these questions answers. You can answer in your notebook, and this is preferably to answer inside your notebook. Thank you so much. Thank you. We are here now in this question. How and why can a trainer evaluate trainee performance? How and why can a trainer evaluate trainee performance? This was the last question for today. Shall see you, and we said the answers is here. Let me remind you back with the answers. We evaluate before, during, and after training. Before training, we identify the needs, identify the job competencies, identify the job evaluated needs. During the training, we check out for the best of the trainees' performance and targets. We'll get feedbacks about his work. We also determine the course delivery is consistent or needs some changes. After training, we check for the mastery of the knowledge and the mastery of skills, the knowledge and the skills of the trainee, and the assess transfer of new knowledge and skills of job, and measure is the performance gap is closed now or no, and measure the relationship between training to the goal of the organizations. Is the training now achieved the goal of organizations or no? These were the more important points today, and of the question of how and why can a trainer evaluate trainee performance. The trainer and the trainee. The trainee is the one who will accept the program of the training. Who is trained? Trainee is the person who is trained or training, is receiving the training. The person who's receiving the training. Shall see you in the next video. Thank you so much.